Is this the average male fantasy? Oh boy, I'm ready for the internet to tell me what my male fantasy is. By Shoe0nHead.
Men. What do they want? Money? Status? Fast, expensive cars? What is the ultimate male fantasy?
German goth dommy mommy, 6 foot with huge mommy milkers.
Is it fame? Fortune? 3 hot chicks at once? Hell yeah, brother. No, according to men on the internet, it's something a little more simple.
I'm ready. I'm ready for this. Yes!
This is literally just a fetish. I f***ing hate men so much. Men are why we can't have nice things.
I'm ready, dude. Oh, it's gonna be
As
good.
I was working on an upcoming video, I made the terrible mistake of logging onto Twitter, where I saw—
Dude! Same! Every single time!
this post. A montage from the anime Josie, the Tiger, and the Fish, a movie about a college student who's assigned to take care of a paraplegic girl, and spoiler, eventually they fall in love. Many men were yearn posting in the replies of this tweet and talking about how they wish to fall in love and would love a relationship like this, while many others, mostly women, were absolutely f***ing disgusted at this. Why would a bunch of men be fantasizing about being with a woman in a wheelchair? Seems pretty creepy and predatory, right? Also just unrealistic and problematic. Well, in this video, we are going to be talking about why so many men resonated to that clip and this movie, and why so many people are so confused as to why. We are also going to be reading some absolutely unhinged tweets, as usual, to get to the bottom of why such a wholesome post turned into, once again, another battlefront for the ongoing, never-ending gender war. Men versus women, women versus men, the male loneliness epidemic, the female loneliness epidemic, the dealing with dating apps. Do men prefer thin women or curvy women? Brunettes or blondes? Do women like dad bods or fit men? Do they like beards or clean-shaven?
She said dad bod, and I'm like, you know what? As it turns out, I could probably have a very prolific OnlyFans career. Market myself as the NTR antagonist. Just own myself as chubby fat man. Because remember, allegedly, apparently, the target demographic for NTR is apparently women. Yeah, that was a fun day to figure out.
Oh yeah. That reminds me. Let's quickly get into today's sponsor, Henson Shaving.
Nice.
You ever just accept that some products are just garbage? Like, for years, I thought ripping your tights on the first wear was just a part of being a human woman. We just accepted that. That's just how it is, sweetie. But that shouldn't be how it is. It's a bad design. And that's why I like Henson Shaving. Because if you've ever used a multi-blade razor, you're probably sick of the irritation, the razor burn, the overpriced blades, and you probably think, that's just the way it is. But it doesn't have to be how it is. Thanks to Henson Shaving. Henson Shaving is on a mission to improve shaving, with no gimmicky subscriptions or moisturizing strips, but with real innovation and a focus on your skin's health. What really sets Henson apart is their engineering, with their Henson AL13 safety razor being manufactured in an aerospace machine shop that built parts for the International Space Station. This precision allows the blade to extend just 1/1000th of an inch beyond the shave plane, less than the thickness of a human hair. The razor prevents any bouncing or skipping, resulting in an irritation-free shave every time. And here's the best part. Once you invest in a Henson razor, it's a lifetime purchase. The only thing you'll need to replace are the blades, which literally cost only 10 cents each. So once you own the razor, you'll be spending like $3 to $5 on blades, compared to the ongoing cost of buying expensive plastic cartridges. Henson's store offers a variety of colors and even a titanium version, so you can pick the razor that best fits your style. So if you're tired of razor burn and overpaying for blades, now is the perfect time to make the switch. Just head over to hensonshaving.com/shoe and add both a Henson razor and the 100 blades to your car, and then enter code SHOE at checkout to get the 100 blades for free with your purchase. Your skin, your wallet, and your environment will thank you. Big thanks to Henson Razor for sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, for not skipping the ad. You didn't skip the ad, right? Now, let's get back to the video.
I give it a 10. I liked it. I know people are going to get weird. There were a couple mispronunciations, like adding to your car. I think that because people on the internet get weird, right? Like literally just talking in the last video about Happy Pride Month and Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, right? And how something like that gets pushed back, right? Just trying to cover all my bases and, do something positive ends up coming across as a net negative to people, right? People are going to get weird. It's the internet. I thought it was a good ad read, though. I thought that, audio is consistent, video is consistent. I like that this was done in a different shot, unless she has a wig on. Because it looks like she colored her hair. I don't know. It might be a wig. I can't tell. I am dumb. But I liked it. I also don't skip the ads. I will add as well. I guess there's concern in regards to reactors, right? Like, this is a quick aside. It's going to be brief. Reacting to the ads and it potentially causing issues. At the end of the day, the way I treat it is I'm not in any way, shape, or form affiliated with any ad that I do read. Like, no, they don't owe me royalties, money, anything. I'm just watching what somebody else who is sponsored is presenting. And that being said, if there is a legal issue, I'm more than happy to go through and potentially cut these out. Say, for example, if Henson's Razor was like, hey, Kip, please don't react to this. I'd make sure just to log the interaction and say, hi, this is why this part is cut in its entirety. But I haven't had an issue thus far. So one of the things that I was asked, one of the things that I had people concerned about, and I'm just like, that's a good point. So took a second.
Now, I am not an anime connoisseur. In fact, I basically know nothing about anime. I am probably the most tourist of all the tourists.
Based!
Yeah, hi. I have a question. Was the upskirt shot necessary in order to advance the plot?
Yes, actually, as well as the High School of the Dead, the funny scene with the bullet, that was relevant for retention. You see a lot of retention metrics, stuff like that. It was, I promise.
I watched Pokemon and Sailor Moon when I was a kid, and a few years ago I watched Beastars on Netflix. Legoshi, best boy. Not a furry, by the way. And honestly, that's about it for my anime consumption. Unless you're counting VTubers. If you're counting VTubers, I watch a lot of anime. But because of this clip going viral, I watched Josie the Tiger and the Fish, and, well, I thought it was a good movie. I recommend watching it. I thought it was a really cute, good story. I only cried a little bit. And I completely understood what the tweet meant by calling it the average male fantasy. So, what was wrong with it? Why did this clip go so viral in such a negative way? Why were thousands of people angry at this post? Well, let us dilly-dally no longer and read some of these angry replies to get a better understanding of what the issue is, shall we?
So the commentary here is that because Shoe0nHead clearly has a functioning prefrontal cortex and has at least more than 2 brain cells to rub together, is how, you come across that tweet saying this is the average male fantasy, thus coming to the conclusion, oh, okay, the average male fantasy is having a loving relationship where, there's mutual respect and mutual love back and forth, right? Shoe0nHead is a functioning adult. People are not functioning adults. Twitter's going to be wild.
Wholesome male fantasy, and it's fetishizing a disabled girl for him to control. Oh my god. Oh.
Yep.
Oh no.
Yeah.
They think, oh god, why? Always vulnerable, always happy, always needs you. Pretty perverted. Where are these fan fictions coming from? There were like hundreds of tweets just like this. Why did they see a cute montage of a happy couple, a man and a woman happy, together? I know, unheard of.
Weird.
Why did they see that and then immediately come to these conclusions? Like, as someone who actually watched the movie, Josie is not always happy. And she's absolutely not portrayed as some, like, vulnerable, ooh-woo, sex doll waifu. She's boisterous, she kind of has a foul mouth, she's very sassy and headstrong, she like straight up calls him her servant, but she was also very depressed. She basically never left her house, she was basically a girl failure. As a former girl failure, I love to see representation in media. But
girl failures are hot. They're pretty based.
They actually show her disability, like, not in a good way. Like, they don't romanticize it, they don't sugarcoat it. And I noticed, unlike a lot of movies, unlike a lot of romance movies, at least like the Hallmark kind, where it's like the stuffy male lead learning to live life from the quirky cute female lead. He's already got his shit together, and she learns to live life from him. He encourages her to live her dreams, and in return, he learns to live life in a completely different way. And I thought that was really cool and sweet. Also, the animation was really good. Is anime?
Seems pretty great. Seems like a pretty good moral to me. Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense why the internet has issue with this.
Hey, good? Have I been sleeping on anime this entire time?
Yes, actually. Do you? It's why I keep gushing about Code Geass. It is actually still my favorite anime. I have yet to have another anime that tops it. Like even going for like mainstream, like, and Shoe0nHead will have heard of like Naruto, right? Shoe0nHead, I want you to look up Danzo, D-A-N-Z-O, if she watches this, right? And tell me that is not just Richard Nixon. Okay, the ongoing joke at this point is that because Danzo from Naruto is just old, grumpy, like conservative politician dude is actually just Richard Nixon, and everyone just goes, oh my god, I can't unsee it now. Thanks, Kip. But even in a fight like that, right, a fight like Sasuke versus Danzo, like sure, it's a flashy fight, but then you start to pull elements out of it, not limited to systemic corruption, power through any means. Number of morals you can pull from it, right? There's a lot of like reflection done if an anime is done well. And Code Geass, as we've talked a number of times, is you do have systemic racism. The Japanese are called 11s, right? You do have a authoritarian regime, being the Britannian Empire, right? You do have blatant homophobia where Nina, they joke about her coming out of the closet, and then around that same time you also have Table Kun the episode, right? There's a lot of heavy themes that can get tackled in anime, but I'm not going to bore you with any more details.
His fantasy is that she becomes permanently disabled and helplessly dependent on him, but can still make him a sandwich. Sounds about right.
Oh my god, after watching the movie, these tweets are even more insane. But even putting the movie aside, just seeing that like cute montage out of context, where the fuck are they getting this? These are very clearly just two happy people. But because the caption was the average male fantasy, their mind immediately goes to the darkest, worst faith interpretation of this. The problem is these people can't see any humanity in men. They can't see any humanity in humanity in general.
Average male fantasy equals girlfriend with no agency who's completely physically dependent on you and forced into blanket subservience and compliance. Sounds about right. You males are weird for fetishizing physically disabled women.
So this user saying you males is 100% a lady who would actually have a fedora and unironically tip the fedora. It kind of makes me like, I can get a little bit of acid reflux thinking about it. Ugh, it's kind of gross to think about.
Average male fantasy
She probably smells like warm Subway too. I hate that dude.
is having a physically disabled girl that they can abuse however they want. Got it.
Not to be that guy, I'm gonna be that guy. The infantilization of the physically disabled here is a little, dare I say,
dumb.
Ableist. The implication here that people in wheelchairs cannot find love, and if they do, the person who loves them literally just loves them because they can't run away. Weird.
Yeah. Average men can't even be nice to their healthy and normal girlfriend. What makes you think they'll be able to handle disabled person as their lover?
Whoa. Normal? What do you mean by normal? These people are just so ableist, chat. Can you believe it? Chat?
The chat virus has taken over Shoe0nHead. Good. The agenda is growing.
Chat? I don't even live stream. Who's chat?
I'm disabled, blind, so I showed this to my boyfriend. He says, I love you because you're you, and you make my days happier. So what if I have to drive you places or help you with cooking and cleaning? I would have done that anyway. Disability has nothing to do with it. I love you.
Ma'am, I don't know how to tell you this, but, your boyfriend is a rapist. Sorry.
Wait, what?
Sorry you had to find out this way.
You show this as fantasy because it's not true for the majority of men who participate in abuse of disabled people. No, the fantasy is the woman appreciates his efforts to make her happy. Stop lying and abusing women and the disabled.
Your meds, schizo.
Yes! I'll take that. I'll take 200 milligrams of whatever that is.
Even know that f***ing guy. What do you mean stop abusing women and the disabled? Bitch, who are you? Also, the majority of men participate in abuse of disabled people. Are you okay? The majority of men are not abusers. That is a very, very small minority of men. The majority of men are men that just wake up, take a shit, get out of bed, take a shower, go to work, come home, and wait for GTA 6 to come out.
You forgot about the men who just rub one out immediately when they wake up. All I'm gonna say, okay, some people prioritize the day a little differently.
That is the majority of men.
Men commit 95% of all rape, but okay.
Barging into the romance section of Barnes & Noble like, attention everyone! Rape! Where is that coming from?
So close.
So I would have to see statistic again. If I do remember it, there is a statistic where the majority are committed by men. However, that also does, and obviously then the minutia, the nuance of the argument becomes, well, anybody can do it. Whether you're a woman, whether you're trans, non-binary, you can still commit the funny R word because non-consent is non-consent. It's why people be like, oh, I want to try Shibari in full suspension, and I want to absolutely try sensory deprivation. And it's like, do you know what a safe word is? Because if you don't know what a safe word is, we're not having this conversation. Like I will politely just leave. I will go play something like Warframe or Final Fantasy 14, right? Like that core fundamental misunderstanding. So I would have to see statistics, but then again, we have to also think about the statistics are also going to be those that are that have been reported. And unfortunately, there's a large percentage of those cases that aren't reported. And if somebody does take advantage of you, and I'm wording it as politely as I can, make sure that you're involving the correct people, even if you think they're not going to listen. There are kits for a reason, and anybody who does that they need to be held accountable. They need to be punished, because it's not okay.
This is fetish content.
Ah yes, the dirtiest, most taboo of all fetishes. A happy relationship.
Exactly.
Honestly, in 2025, that might be true. Oh, you want a wife and kids? You sick fuck.
Exactly.
But this is literally just a perverted fantasy, LMAO.
You think it's a perverted fantasy because... How do I put this nicely? You are a pervert. Literally seeing a cute montage of a male and female character having fun together, being in love together, and being like, rape! He's a rapist! This is a fetish! Are these...
I wonder if there's a correlation between people who've seen some really not like graphic as in like, you know, disturbing, but like some really graphic spicy content, and their ability to function as an adult and view situations like pretty reasonably, right? I think there's a bell curve, right? I think there's a certain point and certain content where that can be detractive, because addictions exist in everything. But like, I wonder if there's like a bell curve of like, doesn't intake any of this content, clearly doesn't have any understanding, clearly looks at something like this and is just like, oh, well, this is just fetishizing the disabled. But then there's like the other side of this where like people then, you know, on the other end of the bell curve, people have been taken so much content that their worldview is just warped, and they do view it as a fetishization. It's so strange. Like, I feel like a bell curve fits here. But then you have people like in the middle of the bell curve who are like, bro, some stuff on the internet. This is cute as hell, right? I feel like I might be onto something here.
Is people okay? Stop watching porn. Wait, this is a woman. Okay, stop reading Taken by the Werewolf Billionaire. Or whatever the fuck.
Ugh. That just sounds like that'd be written bad. That just sounds like they fixate too much on the lighting, talking about like candles and the wick on the candle burning and not being a euphemism. Bro. Not even good smut. I am judging.
You read. I swear to God, some of the shit women read would make the most depraved internet gooner blush.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or so I've been told.
This is literally just a fetish.
Okay, listen, I'm not gonna pretend there's nobody out there who's like, she can't run away, she has no legs. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend there's nobody out there who has a crippled, disabled fetish, okay? I've been on the internet for 20 years. I've been on DeviantArt. I've seen shit you wouldn't believe. But the majority of people, probably most, if not all the people responding to this, do not have a cripple fetish, okay? In fact,
I mean, these people do exist. I mean, there's people who fetishize necromorphs from Dead Space. At that point, I do the follow-up, hold up, right? Hold up, we're not continuing this conversation. I'm literally anywhere else, right? As it turns out, and I know this is going to be a foreign concept to people, just because it exists doesn't make it normal, and in some cases doesn't even make it okay, right? That's why certain content is illegal. People go to prison for that kind of thing, right? Just because even if it exists and say it's, I don't know, subjectively legal in your area, right? Does that mean you seek it out? Right? Just apply those critical thinking skills.
Her being in a wheelchair basically has nothing to do with it. Much like how females coom over, like, vampires or, like I said before, the billionaire werewolf fantasy. This is just the average male fantasy distilled down to its most extreme. So what is the average male fantasy? The average male fantasy is the fantasy of both men and women alike. It is simply to love and to be loved. But more specifically, the male fantasy is to be a protector and a provider for those that they love. Put a pin in this because we are going to come back to this in a big way, trust me.
The average male fantasy is being a globally known terrorist. The average male fantasy is that a woman who isn't fat. The average male
So, okay. So that gets into... It's such a weird conversation to have because people have a literal spectrum of answers for that. I've had people say that they don't want to date someone in general who isn't overage, or isn't overweight because of health concerns, right? So obviously we have the whole trend. I think we've covered it on a couple other videos as well, where people in general hit a certain weight, they can't actually like take care of themselves or clean themselves in certain ways, and thus you get into an actual like health situation. Now, I'm not saying that people are unlovable. I'm not saying that, you know, we should fat shame people. When we have conversations like that, it's important to gauge context because some people are just going to be fat shaming. Some people are going to see, you know, an woman with a little bit of a belly, right? Like a little bit of chub, right? Just a little bit. And they're going to be like, oh my God, she's so ugly. It's like, excuse you? What? What's happening here? There is a certain point across the board, across the gender spectrum, where a partner might not want a more heavy-set partner because of the health concerns. That's not to say something can't happen. That's not to say that because they are a certain weight or because they are a certain body type that they are unlovable. No, that's not saying it by any means. There are conversations, and I think there are valid conversations that stem from say if it's a lifestyle choice, right? Like I'm a family of four. I identify as a family of four because I ate the entire lasagna. Okay, I work hard to keep up this belly. Even when I shitpost, I can't do it seriously. But like, sure, someone's like, you worried about some heart issues there, my guy? Like that feels like you're cutting your lifespan pretty short, like Death Note, like, you know, Shinigami style. You're just cutting your lifespan for eating entire lasagnas. And I think that's a perfectly reasonable criticism. I think that's something that, like, if we're looking at it from an objective health standpoint, maybe eating an entire Costco pizza by myself, probably not a good thing. Okay, I ate half of it yesterday. Dude, I passed out. I was dead for a few hours. It was amazing. Oh my God, though. I went down for the count. Like, I actually, like... but, like, that's... I would argue any comment like that, if you see it on the internet, should immediately be taken in bad faith. However, if you're having a good faith discussion in regards to body type, weight, concerns, etc., especially over a partnership, you're saying, you know, let's say like a 50-year partnership, could that lead to issues, especially if the person is unwilling or unable to change and impacts that could have on their health? Like, I feel like I'm the contrarian here. I think there are valid discussions, but on the internet, it's going to get lost in the sea of just blind rhetoric, as I'm going to call it. At the end of the day, come to your own conclusion. Like, just be reasonable, just be respectful, and have conversations, right? Even if it's something that the other person doesn't want to hear, or, you know, is one of those things where it's like, it might be uncomfortable. At least you have the conversation and work towards a mutual solution, right? In this situation, right? Somebody being like, Kip, you're pretty chunky there, ain't you? Sure, yeah, okay. You think about doing some exercise? Well, actually, I was thinking about getting back into sword fighting, and I've been at SEA in a hot minute. But you know what? I'd be super down. I mean, I just got my arming sword, my Cold Steel polypropylene arming sword. Got a couple daggers from Cold Steel. I'm pretty into doing something like that. You know what? Cool. Let's work together to find a solution. Right? I know, it's such a weird concept.
Fantasy is actually job security.
You know what? These guys may have a point here.
Pedophile alert. Men want disabled child wives. Average male fantasy is a disabled child. More proof that men are pedos. That's a little girl. This is weird.
So, first of all, she's literally older than the guy. The guy is 22 and she is 24. In anime years, he is practically hag maxing. And yes, she may be physically disabled, but aren't all men mentally disabled in their own special way?
No, she has a point. As an man, no, she's absolutely correct. I have a crippling addiction to cardboard. Like it's like, oh my god, I almost had like a $300 Yu-Gi-Oh buy list yesterday. Yeah, no, facts with Shoe0nHead.
At least the ones in my audience. They will freely admit this.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
she, the older woman, is taking advantage of this sensitive young man. Have you ever thought of that?
She looks like an 11-year-old child. Where are her breasts?
Oh my god.
First of all, really weird way to say that. She looks like a child. Show me her titties. Also, I love how, like, when anime women have huge boobs, it's disgusting, Coomer brain or whatever. But if the anime woman has small boobs, she is a child and you're a chimo. Can't fucking win. Also, if she had big boobs, they'd absolutely be like, wow, look at this sexualization of the disabled. Also, you know, like, adult women can be flat-chested, right? Like that.
My god, you mean that different body types exist and different breast sizes exist, and that's why there's a huge, oh my god, nope, I'm not gonna start talking about the bra industry, because it's gonna go into underwires, it's gonna go into sizing and how that's a nightmare, especially when you have to custom order stuff, and then it's gonna go into, inevitably, complaining about women's pockets again. Oh my god, I don't want to, I'm so sick of them. I have this rant like every 3 months, I swear.
That actually exists in real life. Like, adult human women can have small boobs.
Correct.
We love all titties here on the Shoe0nHead channel. All titties is good titties. End of story.
Women fantasy. A boyfriend with depth and a loving, soft, deeply caring side of them. Men's fantasy. 12-year-old anime girl who looks and speaks like a toddler. Also notice how she's literally the shape and size of a child. Yuck.
Have you people ever seen a child? No, you're all childless. Silly me. She's not even that short. She's just sitting. See, like when they're laying side by side, she's like a full-grown adult woman. Why do these people look at this and immediately think of child rape? Go to therapy. And listen, I know with anime it can get a little weird, right? Like, excuse me, Poo Poo Pee Pee Chan is 2,000 years old and this is Poo Poo Pee Pee Chan.
Oh, dude, I can't though. Like that's subject, dude, I can't do the lolly. I can't do it. Like, it's what, even mentioning the word is just immediately going to spark the debate. Like, dude, I can't do it. I can't. It is not my my cup of tea. I'm not into the hyper petite body type. Just not my thing. I can't do it. Draw your own conclusion from that. I just no, I'm not into it.
But this does not even look like a child. This looks like a cute woman. This is like a random rant, but I feel like there are no more cute women nowadays. You know what I mean? You have all like the Insta baddies, the e-thots, the e-girls, the muscle mommies, the boss babes, the boy babes. But I feel like every woman is just hot now. Which, by the way, I don't think is healthy for the male psyche whatsoever. You shouldn't wake up and be able to scroll through pictures of, like, the hottest woman you've ever seen in your life, like, 20 times before you've had, like, your morning cup of coffee.
I would argue that it actually does a lot of good because at a certain point, it, one, normalizes the concept, but normalizes the concept in a way that I just don't care anymore. Like, at a certain... So you know how we make fun of Ubisoft with generic open-world Ubisoft games? Ah, yes, this is generic internet woman, right? And then you go out and you're like, oh, yes, that is generic internet woman. I've seen this. I'm good. I don't need to. I'm gonna go and buy way too much cardboard. I'm gonna go do literally anything else. However, when somebody makes like the is an individual, or say like they make the effort to be like unique or something like that, not to be unique for others, not to attract attention, but like walking down like, wow, you're wearing all black and you have a metal band t-shirt on, kind of cute, I'm kind of into it, right? That kind of thing, right? Like, I don't know, like I think she's onto something, but maybe I'm also broken. I like combat way too much. Maybe I'm broken. It has served to normalize it to the point that I just don't care. Like, there is a certain standard open world Ubisoft game aesthetic that you just hit, and my brain just doesn't care anymore.
Shouldn't log in and immediately be one-shotted by 10-10s all day, as if that wouldn't make you go insane, as if that wouldn't make you crash out. Like, back in the day, you'd probably see like one fine dame on your bus ride.
One fine dame. Oh, Shoe0nHead. Oh my goodness. Next, we're gonna be showing ankles here on this channel. How scandalous! In SCA, we had to wear tights because it was the closest we get to period accurate. We can't show any of that ankle. That is not demure at all. That is not demure by any means. To clarify, I'm not making fun of her. I've had way too many of these conversations.
To work, and you'd think about her for 40 years until the day you die. That's how it used to be. That's how it should be. Now every woman is like a crazy, hot, unobtainable Instagram goddess with the fattest of ass. Zoomers don't know how good we had it. You'd go to Blockbuster, and the 21-year-old cashier behind the counter would be the most adorable woman you've ever seen. No Botox, no lip filler, just a pure soul, full of joy and whimsy. And now women are full of hate and SSRIs. But they're hot. They're hotter than they've ever been. They're hotter and more depressed than they've ever been in history. Sad.
There's a commentary here on how money can't buy you happiness. It's almost like, there's entire discussions, entire philosophies in regards to improving yourself a step at a time. But at the end of the day, how it can feel hollow if the cost was too great to get you there, if you have forsaken too much to get to the point where you end up at, right? Oh, there's commentaries here, absolutely. I think you can definitely draw parallels.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, anime.
Exactly.
I didn't take my Vyvanse today, could you tell?
Men's fantasy. A big titty woman with the face of a 16-year-old that is useful for cooking, cleaning, and sex. Women's fantasy. Gets treated like a queen and a man who keeps tracks of our periods so he can take care of us.
Dude, I don't... I feel like some relationships do this. I feel like period tracking, like, I get it. Especially if you're active and, like, you're trying to make sure that, you don't have a new addition to the family. Like, I get it. I don't think... I just, as a man, no. I don't think I really care. And that's not me being, like, insensitive, I feel. Because if someone's like, hey, I need you to go get, I don't know, like tampons. Sure. What am I getting? What brand? Like what I need to know the details because I want to be in and I want to be out. Not necessarily because I'm embarrassed, but because, dude, I go into stores, I go to my 3 specific locations, and I get out. I hate staying in stores. I hate shopping. As a kid, I had to stay in stores way too long. Like 5-hour, like, Walmart trip status. I hate that stuff, dude. So... This is, I don't know, this is strange to me. If it works for your relationship, awesome. Yeah, this is definitely something that, yeah, no, I'm not into it. Nope.
I think I speak for a lot of women here when I say our fantasies do not, in fact, include men tracking our periods.
No.
Personally, if my husband was like, honey, just a reminder, you're in your luteal phase, I'm taking the kids.
Men like to pretend they want this, and then they beat their wife when dinner isn't ready or their son when he's misbehaving.
First of all, I'm sorry that happened to you. But there are in fact good men out there. I've seen them. Some may be in this very audience.
Yeah. It sure as hell ain't me, though. I am an awful person. I am. However, to all the good men out there, you got it. Keep going, champ.
Sorry, I can keep a straight face. This is the Shoe0nHead audience. You're all gremlins.
Male fantasy equals...
I sent the meme, right? Give me a second. Oh, where is it? The funny. And then we'll open link. That is the new waifu model. This is the new touch up of the waifu model. If that doesn't say gremlin, I don't know what does. No. She has me pegged, not in that sense, chat. She has me pegged in the actual, like literary sense, in the actual like conversational sense, the normal quote unquote sense, the one that everyone defaults to. That one.
A woman that can't run away from him. A woman that's dependent on him. Interesting. When men are involved, it's basic survival instinct to assume the worst. Men are guilty until they prove themselves innocent.
You know what? I take my opinions back on free speech. I changed my mind. No more free speech. No more free speech until you bitches learn to behave.
A woman's fantasy
Yeah, based.
is a man who won't rape her, and a man's fantasy is raping a woman.
I'm sorry, where is the rape, ma'am?
Maybe that's how you see it, because you're brainwashed to hate men.
So true. I hate how...
But in reality, women are the real demons here.
Oh, god damn it.
We just want a happy relationship. Is it so much to ask for?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh look, more misogynistic gooner fantasy slop written by misogynistic gooner men. This is why 70% of anime is garbage.
Wow, hello there, word salad. Also, I see that this user paid for Twitter Blue. Yo, they paid for Twitter Blue. Do the soy wo meme.
So, here's the thing. That, misogynistic gooner fantasy slop written by misogynistic gooner men was actually written by Saiko Tanabe, a woman.
Seiko Tanabe.
A woman wrote this story. And I feel like a very important detail everyone is sleeping on when they covered this was the fact that this is very much the female fantasy as well. A man loving you for who you are despite your flaws, literally sweeping you off your feet and carrying you around on adventures, helping you live out your dreams, face your fears, and supporting you through the good and bad times. You're going to sit here and tell me that's not the female fantasy too? Is this not the basic female fantasy? Is this not the knight in shining armor coming to rescue you and falling in love with you? Why on earth are so many women so mad at this? Are men now the hopeless romantics? Are men now the ones yearning for a fairy tale romance? Is this why all the Disney remakes are like, she's not gonna be saved by the prince, she's a strong, independent woman? Meanwhile, men still
Disney lost so much on that movie. It's been so funny to watch the whole Snow White. Dude, I didn't watch the movie. I didn't really care about it. Oh my god, though. Apparently Disney lost a lot of money on that movie.
want to be the prince, men still want to be the knight in shining armor. Men are like, I will save you from your monotonous 9-to-5 job. I will give you a house and babies. And women are like, no, I must be an actuarial consultant. Be gone, vile misogynist. Is that what is occurring here? Also,
yeah, actually. So there's a couple points that I would bring up. One, this is actually one of my favorite posts, or at least favorite rhetoric trends that goes around social media, is how long have men been told, well, you just need to do the work. You need to be more this. You need to be more this. You need to be more this. You need to be more emotionally understanding. You need to be more knowledgeable, right? A lot of men have put in the work. In fact, there's a lot of women that I've seen who do not have that same level of cognizance. Let's put it that way. Now, obviously, to be fair, right? It's going to be idiots across the gender spectrum. That's just how that works. So I like the concept of men getting told, hey, fix the problem. But see, you forget that a lot of men are hard-coded to fix the problem. It's why some relationship advice is if your wife, girlfriend, significant other says, starts, complaining about something, it's she's just on her time of the month, or it's just, she's just complaining. The follow-up some people will ask is, honey, is this something that you would require a solution to, a fix for, or are you just venting? To which, if it's just venting, that clarifies, no, you're not supposed to find a solution here. She just needs to talk about the thing and to work through the thing. Weird how that works, right? I had another point there, and I think I totally forgot it at this point because I'm a dingus. But yeah, I like the understanding that men, you're not doing enough. Go fix the thing. Men, fix the thing. And now suddenly a lot of women are left behind because now there's this gap in understanding. It's very fascinating to me from a social, like a psychological and a social perspective. It's incredibly fascinating.
So that aside, there literally is a gender swapped version of this story.
Amazing.
Called Perfect World. It is a manga. Mango? I don't know. Do not
The Mangussy?
come for me, weebs.
Men will statistically leave their wives and partners the moment they find out they're disabled or have a life-threatening condition. You're right, it is a fantasy.
Actually, that study was debunked by the authors themselves, who admitted they did the math wrong. It's actually not much higher, but then again, even if it was, and it happens, I've seen it happen to people, it's terrible. Marriage should be through sickness and through health, but that's not really the point here. And the fact that so many people are focusing on the wheelchair part of this just proves that they just don't get it. The ones of pure mind and pure soul get it, but these fucking semen demons out here, they don't get it. But not all semen demons.
The amount of people in comments who just don't get that men want a cute, loving girlfriend is beyond me. They call them creeps for wanting actual love and not a girl boss who only wants your money.
Ah, thank you, a sane person. Hopefully the replies aren't full of people calling her a pick-me.
Pick-me alert.
Oh, it is.
Least obvious pick-me. Me, pick me please. Hope he picks you, sis. Pick me, pick me, pick me. An incel could have written this.
Fuck.
Why are so many VTubers either pick-me's or racist?
Oh, I simultaneously love and hate Twitter, because Twitter truly is like the well of infinite content, but it also is just like, it just makes my brain hurt, dude. Like, Twitter is the place that, like, I like waffles. How dare you not like pancakes? God, it hurts my brain, dude. I hate it.
You mean why do so many female VTubers disagree with you? Why so many aren't towing the mainstream liberal feminist NPC line? Because they can. See, the most powerful weapon women have against other women is social ostracization. You don't want to be seen as a pick-me or a racist, so you keep your mouth shut in order to survive in female social circles. But in the cases of VTubers, virtual YouTubers, they're basically anonymous.
Yeah.
They can say anything they want. They're basically wearing a mask. They're free from the chains of the eternal HR Longhouse. But
I think it's really funny because, like, I mean, there's a lot of, like, memes, rhetoric, and I'm sure there's definitely examples of this, like, in the actual real world, of, you know, women being very cliquey, you know, relying a lot more on not mitigation. Oh my God, I've been playing too much 14, playing way too much tank. Manipulation, you know, oh, did you see what Stacy's wearing? Like, okay, but, like, what if we had Stacy wear the burgundy? Because it doesn't really go well with her, but we actually really like it. I think that Barb would be fine, but it'd be really funny for Stacy to wear the burgundy at the reception, because then we can show, you know, take pictures of it and then use it to hold over Stacy's head. See, look, sweetie, that is baby tier manipulation, okay? Like, that is some child's play. It's really funny because I don't know. It's one of those things where I feel that I could do it a lot better, but I actively choose not to, because manipulating people is just an awful thing to do. Like, oh my God. Morally gray advice with Kip, I guess. You really want to hold someone accountable, or you really want to push someone into something, you take notes, okay? You have your effective dossier on what people have said, right? Oh, well, you know, Stacy said this on this date, and then she said this, she tweeted that, she was seen with Brad. Okay, cool. Now we have the list. Hey, Stacy, so we need to have a chat. You know, I know you're wanting this thing to happen. However, I don't necessarily think that this could happen because, well, I mean, you clearly said this, and this does contradict your current stance, right? You effectively trap them in the web. But do you know how much effort that takes? It's awful, dude. Like, I can't do it. The logic is there. The understanding is there. The drive is not there. Because you know what's good? Talking to people, cutting through the bullshit, being an actual genuine human being. Now, that is something special.
apparently, even being anonymous online does not save them because they still get doxxed for simply not hating men.
Yeah.
Lovely. Maybe I should save this rant for a different video someday. Moving on.
Hey.
Men are why we can't have nice things, by the way.
First of all, men make all the things. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Also, I just realized it was a man saying that. It was a whole ass man saying men are why we can't have nice things. I don't deserve this trophy. This is for you, sir. This is for you. I am not worthy. Listen, I make women jokes. I'm very critical of feminism and propaganda aimed at women. But you will never catch me in a million years saying some shit like women are why we can't have nice things. I have a mom. I have female family members. I have female friends. Maybe one day I'll have a daughter. Women make the world a beautiful place and, like men, can be flawed and deserve criticism like anyone else. But there's something genuinely so cucked about people who put down their own gender or race. Oh god, race. Self-hating white people. Don't get me started on self-hating white people.
I feel called out because I've said a number of times. I'm just like, bro, I'm white. I don't get shit. I don't understand it. Oh my god.
White people are so evil. I hate being white. White people can't dance. White people food is so gross. You're not getting into Wakanda, bro. You're not getting invited to the cookout. Enough. But yeah, women were not the only.
What was the comedian? I always forget his name. Where he accidentally went to the Klan rally and brought home Klan ribs. There's a joke there. One I'm not brave enough to repeat on YouTube. I don't know. I think that I make jokes, but I'm not like this like self-depreciating like I am white, therefore I am everything that is wrong with the world and then some. Please world rail me with a cactus. I think there's a little bit of like I think there's a little bit of a jump in logic there.
Ones who had a problem with this. There were a lot of men who didn't quite relate to this being the average male fantasy.
It's fine to love the disabled. I didn't need to remind you that. But you glorify it? This anime is certainly Marxist propaganda.
Oh my god, no. It's all coming back to communism. Oh my god. We never left the Red Scare.
The movie is about him taking a job as her caretaker, and when he learns of her dreams, he makes it his mission to help her dreams come true. So it is Marxist propaganda to help a disabled person pursue their dreams? Yeah, it's woven in. Empathy is the target of propaganda.
Okay, I want you to show me exactly where in the Communist Manifesto, Communist Manifesto, where exactly Karl Marx said that. I would very much like to know where in the manifesto or any of his supplemental writings where he said that. Please educate me. Where specifically did he say that? Oh, I'm pretty sure he didn't.
Marxism is when girl in wheelchair. I love this. Empathy is the target of propaganda. Every piece of media that makes you feel empathy is communism. Political brain rot. If you're at the point where you see this and you're thinking of communism, you need to log off. You are unwell.
Yeah, you need to seek some professional help. I would go touch grass. Maybe even eat the grass. If the grass is yellow, do not eat the grass. You know what? In your case, actually, yeah, go do eat the yellow grass. Yeah, it's got extra protein in it. I think that'd be a good thing. But yeah, go outside, socialize for a little bit because that is such a leap in logic.
I'm sorry, but when I reproduce, I don't want a high probability of my offspring being mentally or physically retarded. We need a better class of incels whose bar is higher than the retarded.
She's not retarded, she has a spinal injury that's not genetic. Also, what is this LARP? I love how everyone is just kind of having like a normal conversation about this clip, and this guy just comes out of nowhere like, I would never put my pure white seed in such a vile creature. Like, you absolutely know this guy has a non-white girlfriend. They all do all these like,
He definitely calls her mamacita. Oh, 100%. Oh, he gets the puppy. Oh, based.
White people, women, always have white boyfriends. All these, I hate non-white people, boys, always have non-white girlfriends. I don't know what it is, but I've seen it too many times. I guarantee you when this man logs off of his Black Sun Roman statue Twitter account, he's clapping Latina booty cheeks.
My fantasy is not being a simp, but okay.
Fellas, is it simping to love a woman? Nah, this is
by modern standards, yes, actually, by modern social standards. However, I would like to clarify Modern society is dumb.
It's not the male fantasy. That man is a beta male. If she wasn't in a wheelchair, she would leave him for Chad. Fellas, is
happening?
it beta to love a woman? This is not my fantasy. This is some gay shit, to be honest.
Fellas, is it gay to love a woman?
What no
Fellas, is it gay to love some mad bahonkadonkas? I think society has proven that yes, it is in fact incredibly gay. bro, how do we keep coming back to this logic train? Because this is not the first Shoe0nHead video where this has been a subject of discussion. Like, oh my god. Okay, no. I'm gonna no. I have it. I have to make sure to curate this image, actually, because that is actually going to be a very risky thing to do. Oh, yep. Glad I did. Is there a better image? I should probably just go to the wiki. AI mode? What do you mean AI mode? Okay, here we go. No, it wasn't anything sus, chat. Fellas, is it gay to like a woman like this? I think this is according to society, this is incredibly gay. This is incredibly homosexual. 100%. God, I love Psycho.
pussy does to a motherfucker.
Brother, I've seen what pussy does to a motherfucker. It's far worse.
The average male fantasy is taking care of their crippled wife. I don't think I've ever had that fantasy before. I thought it was gonna be about going on some quest to kill the dragon to win the princess or something.
It is. That is the average male fantasy. But there are no dragons to slay. There are no princesses to save. But there is that little old lady in the grocery store who can't quite reach that top shelf. There's that heavy box the pretty girl you work with can't quite lift herself.
Well, you know what? Like, God made stepping ladders, okay? Don't lift the box yourself. I don't know. So, okay, like full transparency time. I am built different. As many would say, built incorrectly, okay? This white knighting shit is so boring to me, dude. Like, actually give me, like, you know, fully independent woman, right? You know, sure, we enjoy each other's company. We can be respectful of each other. We're both intellectuals, right? I don't know. There's something about like this whole white knighting thing that just doesn't get it. I don't know. I don't have the time or the effort for it, dude. Like actual relationship status, we each have our separate accounts, but we have the one shared account to put like rent and groceries into because we're our own individual. Like unironically, Code Geass C2 or High School of the Dead Sayaka Busujima. That is the kit male fantasy. Badass woman who can and will suplex you and is fiercely independent, but also can be like, you know what, cool, let's have that moment. That's it. We've cracked the code. I'm sure people have cracked this 300 videos ago, if not 700 videos ago.
There's that jar of tomato sauce your wife can't quite open. There's that Lego set your little son can't quite put together himself. Or there is this paraplegic girl who wants to see the ocean. This is the Princess and the Dragon story. And despite what many are told, men do have a lot of love to give. And they want some kind of excuse or mechanism to show that love.
Yes.
In a world where men expressing themselves is either seen as toxic or gay. And one way of expressing that love is solving problems. Men fucking love solving problems. I don't know what it is. They also love reading Wikipedia articles. The amount of times...
Yeah, I'm called out on that one. I've said multiple times, my last years of high school, I was reading the Naruto wiki and the Legend of the Five Rings wiki on a daily basis during class. No, she's not wrong. That to a T.
I walked over and my husband is reading a random fucking Wikipedia article about like the world's tallest buildings or like a random battle in World War II. I didn't know if this was autism or what, but apparently it's a man thing. Anyway, yes, men love solving problems. And in a world that makes them feel useless, makes them feel like they have no purpose, men desperately feel like they need to prove their worth. They are desperately looking for a purpose in life. So it is not at all shocking to me that the modern young man is seeing a clip like this and longing for this. A lot of modern men don't have a chance to prove themselves, to make something of their lives. They don't have a chance to provide anything for anyone because they don't have anything to provide, and they don't have anyone. They are doing everything their grandfathers did, but seeing none of the results.
No, she's absolutely correct. Everything she has just said is absolutely correct. Now, obviously, that comes with the somehow obvious, but somehow I'm going to have to say it anyways, with the obvious understanding that no one's entitled to somebody else, right? Just because you are a man, just because you are a woman, does not mean that you're inherently entitled to someone or someone's time, especially if that person wants nothing to do with you, right? Pretty reasonable stuff, I'd have to say, but still have to disclose it regardless, right? It's one of those things where, yeah, a lot of men want to be able to prove themselves. A lot of, there's men who, and that's like the men who want to white knight, dude, go for it. I might not subscribe to that philosophy, but if you do and you gain value from it, don't let someone like me sway you otherwise, right? Come to your own conclusions. Be the person that you want to be ultimately at the end of the day, because especially even if you conform, right? You're still getting hate. You're still getting vitriol thrown at you. Like, you can't win either way, so you might as well just be the person you want to be. And I think that in general, people are so divided and people are so scared. And I think scared is the proper term, right? Like, I'm scared to get into another relationship because you know what happened in the past few relationships where, I'm not going to get super graphic. You know what I've had happen to me? I have had an ex who I sent to jail because she decided to SA me on the couch in front of a family member, like actual trying to force herself on me. Thus, then this gets into why I'm so black and white on a lot of things. She did something with a underage, developmentally challenged, and I do mean like her brother did need help. She did some things with her brother. I reported her ass so quick, and I have understanding that she was sent to jail by this. I have also been manipulated. I have also been physically beaten by women. Now, obviously, if you've been through worse or if you've had men do worse to you, look, there's certain things that I can't understand, nor do I really have the authority to say that I understand. And nobody should have to go through stuff like this. Unfortunately, it's a risk for anybody to date anybody. I'm transparent about it because, look, at the end of the day, this shouldn't have to happen anymore. Sure, you'll meet odd people, you'll meet questionable people, but at the end of the day, you should be able to just say, no, thank you, I'm done. Nobody should have to suffer that. Men shouldn't have to get into relationships getting physically hit or having financial abuse thrown at them. And then suddenly, 3 months after re-signing a lease with you, they're like, well, I was talking to this guy for the past 6 months and I'm going to go with him instead now. You should have just told me 6 months ago you didn't want this to work, right? And at the same time, right, you shouldn't have to worry about dating this new guy and this new guy slipping something in your drink. We shouldn't have to worry about things like this, but unfortunately, we have to worry about things like this. I'm open about it so that people can not pity me, and not that I'm trying to compare trauma, but to express understanding and why I have certain viewpoints. That there can be people who want to engage in different lifestyles, whether that's going to be, white knighting, classic nuclear family, whether that's they have an entire dungeon full of suspension equipment and soundproof walls, right? Look, as long as we're all adults, as long as it's all consensual, and as long as you're able to be adults, that's all that really matters. But people have fundamentally lost this in part because of fear. So yeah, I think that fear is a reasonable explanation of this, at least in part. Yes, people are scared to interact with others. We're scared to get called a pick-me. We're scared to get harassed. We're scared to get bullied. We're scared to be positive because of backlash. And it's okay to have that fear. It's okay to be scared. But what do you do about it? How do you progress from that? You talk to people. You work on yourself. You learn to understand what are red flags. You learn to understand what are green flags. You understand what is and isn't subjected with red and green flags, right? You learn to be able to read people. I'm autistic as hell. I have read the room better than so many quote unquote normal people. I'm not perfect. Don't get me wrong. I'm very much not perfect, nor do I want to be perfect. Anyone can gain the skill to read people. Just, there's a number of conversations that fit into this. At the end of the day, everything Shoe0nHead said, I honestly agree with. And I think part of that comes down to a fundamental schism between not just genders, but people, and an inherent fear of what they can do to us, how they could betray us, or if we're just going to be quote unquote punked for content, right? You know, no one wants to be the guy in the gym that ends up on TikTok with, oh, he's so feral. You know, I'd rip his something off if I could. And it's clearly she's misreading the situation and shouldn't be in the gym to begin with if she's just that mentally unwell.
They're lost. What can they provide? And as I said earlier, her being in a wheelchair is the protector and provider instinct taken to a extreme. And yes, it is a fantasy, considering if you ask anyone who's actually in a wheelchair, they know it's not all butterflies and rainbows, and they know that it's hard on relationships. It can be difficult on their partner. But just like in the movie, it's not shown as butterflies and rainbows. Josie feels like a burden. But towards the end of the movie, the guy takes on that burden. Not because he gets something in return, but because it's his duty. Because it makes her happy, which makes him happy in return. Loyalty, duty, virtue, acts of service, big or small. Men live for that shit. And yes, these are stereotypes. Not everyone fits into these boxes, blah, 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 blah. But for the most part, it's true. When many men look at this relationship, that is what they see. And a lot of modern women are looking at this relationship and being disgusted because, in a way, it's the complete inverse of the strong, independent woman they've been sold. They've been told they need to be. The modern woman crafted by modern Disney for modern audiences. Unlike the Hollywood-crafted modern woman, this woman does need her man. She is not strong and she's not independent, at least physically. This doesn't mean she's like an empty vessel with no thoughts or freedom. No, in fact, in the movie, Josie does roll away from him a few times. It is a fantasy not because of a power imbalance, but because the man has a tangible purpose, and the woman is willingly and lovingly letting him fulfill that purpose.
Because I can depend on you. I know that if I ever feel frightened, I can just reach out to you.
Men simply want something good to die for, to make it beautiful to live. This
yes. For the Emperor! see, here's what we get, and here's the commentary that legally distinct medieval smashing game implements so well. In the absence of, say, loving relationship, purpose in that aspect, the average male fantasy is to go on a quest and or crusade to die for a greater power. That is quite literally the male plan B. And it makes me laugh every time it comes up.
Manifests in a lot of ways, but the most common is having a loving partner and or a family. Something unobtainable to many people nowadays. So yes, literally one of the most normal things ever is becoming a fantasy. Sad. Also, men will deny this, but they absolutely have a biological clock. It may not hit in your teens or your 20s, but...
Oh my god, dude. All throughout my 20s, I was very much focused on combat. I don't know what happened when I hit 30, but like... Ooh, like that hit me like a truck. I'm still kind of reeling with that one. But here's the thing. I did spend my 20s going through some awful relationships, and know what I'm not willing to compromise on. So thus, I am 30 and still do not have a kid. I'm going to consider that a win because I'm an adult. I have adult money. I spend my adult money on way too much dumb shit. No. Coming from the combat sexual dingus. No, hitting 30 hit me like a truck.
One day you're going to have a dream. You have a little daughter making you pancakes with your wife in the morning, and you're not going to be able to get it out of your head. And
Okay. Minus kids. Not a fan of kids though. I'm good on that. I'll pass on that specifically.
that is the male biological clock. Everything you do, the money you make working that grating 9-to-5 job, it will all be for something bigger and more important than yourself one day. You will come home to a warm and happy home, greeted by people who care about you, and love you, and rely on you, and everything will make sense then. Until then, you'll just be on the internet, being called a misogynist, for wanting something bigger and more important than yourself, for wanting something beautiful and normal. And that is the average male fantasy. That and 3 hot chicks at once. Hell yeah, brother. Haha, you know what I'm saying?
But that's so much work. That's so much effort. Because then somebody's left out, okay? Like, even if we go, like, H status, like, I guess that's why the hands exist. But then it still feels like you're showing, like, favoritism or some kind of preferential treatment. I mean, 3 is fine. Like, getting that 4th in there, that's the challenge. That's the trick. That requires some prep work. That also requires a lot of charging, like a lot of electronics to be charged. Doable, but probably more effort than people are actually putting into. Like, I think it goes into it. Like, there's effort that goes into this.
That little video. Men in the comments, let me know. Am I correct? Is that the average male fantasy? Or is it not that deep? Men and women in the comments, what is your fantasy? And no, I don't mean that. I don't want to hear about how you want to be crushed by a 12-foot futa. That.
Okay, Shoe0nHead. Nobody's going to tell you that they want to be crushed by a 12-foot futa. Definitely not.
Is between you and God, not you and Shoe0nHead. I mean, what is your ultimate dream? Do you want to travel the world? Do you want a nice big family one day? Do you want to own a farm? Do you want to live in a shed in the woods and make pipe bombs? Let me know in the comments and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye!
For legal purposes, no, it's not the one with the pipe bombs. Oh my god. I'm waiting for the funny. Is there a funny? No, there's not a funny. All right, I'll bite. What is the Kip fantasy? The Kip fantasy is to get to a point where doing effectively what I do, down to probably 1 or 2 videos a day on Kip Reacts, I can make like 10 grand a month. It's a lot of work. I'm still working towards that point. I am still far off from that point, but it is. I want to be able to travel around. I want to do stuff. I want to be able to say, go to different either Renaissance fairs, SCA events, HEMA events, ACL, right? And I want to meet a lot of cool people. If you want my actual, like, cool, like, sky's the limit projection, I want to be that person who is able to just talk to people. I want to be able to, be able to, not necessarily to get into rooms that require lifelong NDAs, which would be cool, but that's not realistic, right? But to be able to just talk to cool people, because everyone has a story, right? If we're talking from a relationship standpoint, I mean, I feel I made it pretty clear. C2, Psycho Busujima from Code Geass and High School of the Dead, respectively. I personally don't have any desire for, as much as I find this, the fantasy she's painting cute, it's not something that I'm really into. I'm much more into a mutually independent, but also like in a relationship status kind of situation, where she's her own individual, I'm my own individual. We can both effectively be badasses, and we're both intellectual enough, and we're both strong enough, mentally, physically, etc. Right, to where they can kind of just tackle effectively all of life. So hopefully that's a deep dive enough into that. I don't really know how else to really dive into it. I mean, there's not really anything else I feel that I really can dive into. And I think it's important to note that just because I don't necessarily have the fantasy that Shoe0nHead portrays, while I don't want something like a nuclear family, well, I don't even want kids, honestly. It comes down to I can respect the people who do want kids, who do have that fantasy, who crave a fantasy like that, and makes me curious for what's to come. But hopefully that was enough context on that. Thank you, Shoe0nHead, for a banger video. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you found some of the banter additive in some capacity. I'll see you in the next one.